Hello students, Standard 6 revision in physics chapter number 10, that is the motion and measurement of distance. In the last session we learned that in the ancient time, which were the modes of transport. Like in the beginning, there was no modes of transport, so people has to walk and they have to take their goods also on their back. Then they started using animals. Then the invention of wheel make a great change in it. Similarly, in the water, journey through the water, they were using simple boats with a hollow cavity in a wooden log. And then they make the streamlined boats by joining the logs. Then, after the wheel was invented, then the journey of the transport was very different. Animals were used to pull their carts made of the wood and they moved on the wheels. Then after the 19th century started, the people were still busy with that same old transports, but then the invention of the steam engine led to the development of the transport. Railroads were made for the trains that can carry carriages and wagons with the steam engine, then the planes. And now we know that there is a lots of automobiles like cars, trucks, buses, motorized boats, motorized ships. Also the aircrafts and the spacecraft, etc. Now we have to learn about the distance. Generally we know that what is the distance? Distance is the space, length of the space between the 2 points. The length of the space between the 2 points is known as distance. Or you can say that how far a place or a point from the given point is known as. How far a place or a thing is from a point is also known as distance. So either the length of the space between 2 points or how far an object or a place, that is also known as the distance. Now in the ancient times, or just you can talk about the situation given in this book, like the Bujo and Paheli, they were using the same desk in the school. Now the large desk was there and the two students were sitting on it. But sometimes they have some disputes. One of them saying that the other is using more space than myself. So now every time they have arguments, so teacher suggested them that they can draw a line between, so that both of them will have the equal space. Then the next day Bujo bring his gilli danda and he measured the whole length of the desk, which was, total length was of the 2 times the length of the danda and 2 times the length of gilli. So now, what did he do? He take the measurement of one danda and one gilli, both sides, and there exactly in the middle, they draw a line. Then their dispute was finished. But after few days, the line drawn was rubbed out because it was not permanent marking. So now next day, Bujo bring another gilli danda because that danda was broken, gilli was lost. So he brought a new set of gilli danda and started measuring again. But now what happens? This time the measurement of danda and gilli was not like before. So he couldn't exactly make 2 parts of the desk using that new set of gilli danda. So there is a problem. Then teacher tell them you can make 2 points on the thread according to the length of your desk, and then you can divide in 2 parts, and then you can have the measurement like that. And then they can understand that and they will do that. But now we can say that why they are doing that. They are supposed to use the scale that is given in your geometry box. You know that with the help of the scale, you can exactly make 2 parts of that desk. And then there will be no disputes, no fighting for the space, that who is occupying more space or less space. But now it is that easy now. We know that nowadays different type of measuring devices are there. So now before that measuring, what is the measurement? First we have to understand the word measurement. What is measurement? To find out size, amount or degree of something. It means that like size means length or area, or mass means weight, height or thickness, etc., etc., or the temperature, degree of the temperature, atmospheric pressure, and so many things. We need to measure them. So, to find out the size, amount or degree of something by comparing it with a standard, we have to compare them with a standard. For example, we use scales or the measure tapes for the length. That is the standards. Similarly, for measuring the weight, when you go to the grocery shops or to buy the vegetable, they have that small weights, 100 gram, 200 gram, 500 gram, 1 kilo. They are the standards. So we have to compare them with the standard. Then it is known as to measure. And this process of measuring is known as measurement. Now, nowadays the measurement is very, very simple, but before that, when there were no standard units of the measurements, no standard devices were invented. I'm talking about the ancient times. That time they don't have scale. They didn't have anything like standards. So they were using different type of standards. For example, look at here. In ancient times, people used length of a foot. Length of the foot. And then the width of a finger. Width of the finger means if you want to measurement the length of that, they will put finger 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and so on. And maybe there is a 50 fingers or 53 fingers with like that they were using that. The other was like the width of a finger, then the distance of a step, there are how many steps like that, counting 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, steps, one by one steps, they will counting, then they will counting the length. Similarly, the straight palm, જેને આપણે વેંત કહીએ ગુજરાતીમાં, વેંતથી બી મપાય, we can count like that, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Or they were using the arm length from here to here. And so on, so many different on the straight arm. This arm, straight arm, or a mutti also. So different type of standards they were using for the measurement of different things. For distance, as I told you, they were using this type of things. But now, will you think it was convenient? No. Why? Because we know that my finger and your finger don't have the same width. My straight palm width and your, is everybody same? No. If somebody have long fingers, big hand, they can have bigger palm length. And if somebody's hands are small, fingers are also small, it will have only little palm. Similarly, foot marks, footsteps also. Somebody, if leg is this size and leg is that size, feet is that size, then will it be a standard measurement? If I will count the length of this room and a small child count the length of the room with using the straight palm or the footsteps, everybody will give the same answer? Obviously, it will be different answers. Then, what is the right answer? How can you decide that what is the length of the room? Then, we see that it is not a uniformity in these all standards they were using. Because if somebody asks what is the length, how can you say exactly what is the length of given object? So now what happens? This caused confusion and a need to develop a uniform system of measurement arose. Means from all this problem, every time there was disputes about the measurement. Because everybody's hand, legs, feet, mutti, fingers are not the same. And therefore, there is no uniformity in the measurement. Now, therefore, what happens? The scientists all over the world, they came together and they decide and accept a set of standard unit of measurement. Because as I already told you that there was problem every time, and then to get a solution, that is the only thing that all over the world they must find out a way such that measurement can have the standard. Means all over, everywhere worldwide, it should be accepted. And therefore, all the scientists, they decided that what should be done for this, so that every time we can have the perfect and same measurement. Doesn't matter who is measuring that things. And then it is known as, they accepted a set of standard units of measurement, not only for the length, but for all the different things, like for the length, height, same thing, weight or the mass, for the area, for the degree of temperature, density, and so many all physical values. And they accepted the set of units, standard units of measurement. And nowadays that we using that system is known as International System of Units, which is known as SI unit. So at the SI unit means the International System of Units. So nowadays whatever we using like centimeter, meter, kilometer, then for the weight also gram, kilogram, for area, meter square, centimeter square, all they have accepted uniformly. So in the world, anywhere you go, 1 centimeter have the same length. If you buy a scale from India or from America, the centimeter, 1 centimeter will be the same everywhere. So that is called the International System of SI units. More about this and the different standard units, SI units, we will learn in the next session. Here we are going to finish today's session, and as usual there will be some question answer in PDF file. Any confusion, write down in comment section. Thank you very much.